Hey, DJ, have you seen that new trailer that came out for the Robocop video game?
Oh yeah, I did. It was pretty awesome, It's gonna be really fun.
It looks amazing. And I just happened to look it up. It's actually the 35th anniversary of Robocop.
Wow! Holy moly!
So let's talk about it.
Hell yeah!
And let's start the show.
Yahoo!
We're a couple of guys who like to watch movies, cinema nerds who made it our duty to make a show where we break down, discuss, and review. We're the men who watch movies.
Hello and welcome to another great episode of The Men Who Watch Movies. My name is Alec.
And my name is DJ the Movie Man Wagner.
Oh, yeah. And we have another great episode today. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the great Paul Verhoeven movie, Robocop. One of my favorites from the 80s. It's a classic, gory, just, wonderful movie. And of course, it's just one of those movies that stands the test of time. What do you think about it?
Oh, it's pretty awesome. It's just awesome.
It's really good.
It's really good.
Yes. There's so much to say. But first, of course, before we get into all of that, we're going to discuss what's going on in the world of film and cinema.
This week in movie news.
There you go.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
All right, there's plenty of going on right now. One of the first articles that I have for you right now, apparently Sylvester Stallone of Rocky and Rambo fame, apparently he's not very happy. I don't know if you heard about it. They're doing a spin-off movie. You know how they did, of course, he was in the Rocky franchise. He conceived that whole character and the stories.
He did.
And they made the movie Creed, which was, I heard it was great. I have yet to see it, unfortunately, but I heard the Creed movies were really good. Have you seen any of them?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. It's really awesome.
Nice. And apparently they're doing another spin-off movie called Drago, based off Ivan Drago.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Unfortunately, Sylvester Stallone is not happy.
Why is he not happy?
Well,
he's Stallone.
Yeah, but apparently they did it behind his back. They're not giving him like the proper kind of kudos. Like he wants more money for the characters that he created, and apparently the studio is just going ahead with this kind of spin-off without him, and he feels slighted. He said he feels that they're picking clean the bones of another wonderful character that I created without even telling me. What do you think about that?
Well, I kind of get his opinion on that, but I mean, Stallone is a good actor. He's been acting since, what?
For a while.
Years and years. He's an icon.
Yeah.
He's tall. He's buff. He has that voice. Although, not to get too off topic,
off topic here.
There is so much with Stallone that apparently he was in Capone, and he played Capone's enforcer named
is that right?
Frank Nitti.
Ah, I see.
Ben Gazzara version.
Not to get too off topic.
Not to get too off topic.
Yeah, and apparently Dolph Lundgren, who's great friends with Sylvester Stallone, he played Ivan Drago. Apparently he failed to tell Sylvester Stallone about, the spin-off. And there's a little bit of a feud going on there. He's saying that he wished his buddy would have let him know that they were making this behind his back. So hopefully they're still friends. Hopefully they can reconcile this little tiff here. But
can't we all just get along?
Yes.
Stop arguing.
Yeah.
Just get along, Stallone and
I think it's a good idea, and I stand by.
Yeah. And again, of course, in Hollywood, we can't go without doing remakes. There's no originality anymore. Have you heard they're doing a remake of Roadhouse? Have you heard about that?
I have not heard about that.
The classic Swayze movie.
I like Swayze's version better. So what are they gonna do next?
They're just redoing Swayze movies.
I hate it when they do that. I hate it when they do that.
In all honesty, I thought Roadhouse was just okay. I mean, I'm not too broken up about it, but
Well, actually, I like it because in Family Guy, there's a special scene where Peter says, "Roadhouse."
oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
It was pretty badass. I mean, I'm still partial to the Simpsons cartoons because I saw it a long time ago, but I still like Family Guy due to Seth MacFarlane's, body of character, his body of work. He sings like Frank Sinatra, so there you go. He's a famous icon. So there you go, guys.
What the fuck was he talking about?
sure. Not to get too off topic here.
Not to get too off topic.
Let's try and stay on a little bit of a straight and narrow track here.
Alrighty then.
But continuing on with the Roadhouse news, apparently Jake Gyllenhaal is set to star. What do you think about that? What do you think? Do you think he's going to be a good Swayze replacement?
I'm sure he might, fit the bill. I'm pretty sure he's going to do good because he played Mysterio.
Yeah.
He was in Donnie Darko.
That was an excellent movie. Which is funny because Swayze was in Donnie Darko. I bet you were going to say that, huh?
Yeah.
I beat you.
Okay. That's
I
all
beat
right.
you to the punch.
That's okay. I forgive you, buddy.
Yeah, and then apparently, I think Conor McGregor is going to make his movie debut in this as well. It's an interesting movie. I don't know. Remakes, they're very hit or miss.
Yeah, they're hit or miss. Like the remake of Point Break was such a shitty movie that I like the original one better.
Yeah,
that is one big pile of shit.
Yeah. I believe we already discussed that in our episode about remakes. It's an episode called Hot Takes and Remakes. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and check out our backlog of episodes. We would appreciate it greatly. You can listen to that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Check it out, guys.
It's not on YouTube yet, so don't go looking for it.
It's on Spotify.
Anyway, moving on. Big news in the world of WB. Have you heard?
Have I heard about the Flash remake?
It kind of ties into all that. They canceled the Batgirl movie. It was supposed to come out on HBO Max. What the hell? I was really excited for it. It looked cool. It was going to have Michael Keaton in it. Apparently, J.K. Simmons was set to return as Gordon. Yeah. And they just outright canceled it.
Why would they do
people
that?
Are furious. I mean... apparently they're saying they're going to focus on like more like larger scope films. I don't know. Warner Brothers right now is just doing awful. I feel bad for the actress.
It is what it is, but I wish Warner Brothers would get back on the track. So
yeah, they need to get on. They need to get their shit together over at Warner Brothers.
Exactly.
A lot of people are furious. I mean, they were really looking forward to this. It's supposed to have Brendan Fraser in it as well. A lot of people are rooting for his comeback into Hollywood. He's been in some stuff lately, but he was supposed to have a big role in this, and I don't know, it just kind of fell apart. I mean, what's even worse about it is that they finished filming it. It was in pre-production, and they just decided not to go forward with it. I think they're doing it as a tax write-off at this point. Who's running WB? Trump? Not to get political.
Not to get
Polly charged over here.
But I'm gonna run for president pretty soon. So, vote for me.
Well, you are really?
Yeah.
Are you announcing it on the pod right here?
Pretty much.
Okay, sure. But yeah, I don't know, man. Apparently, people are saying that Blue Beetle might be next. I don't know if you've seen anything about Blue Beetle.
Is that the comic book or
Yeah.
is that the movie?
Yeah, well, they're doing a movie. I don't know if it was supposed to be like an HBO Max exclusive kind of thing, but a lot of people are loving it. The costume. I mean, they haven't released a trailer or anything, but we've seen some behind the scenes pictures of the costume, which I'll pop up right here. And people are saying it looks great, which I agree. I mean, DC is doing a lot better with their costumes and whatnot.
No doubt.
Hopefully, that's not on the chopping block too.
Well, it is what it is with Warner Brothers. But hey, the Flashpoint, TV series or movie should be good. And it's going to go well because you got
hopefully.
Michael Keaton.
And then they also canceled, they're supposed to do a sequel to that animated movie Scoob, which was like a Scooby-Doo cartoon that they did a while back. And they were going to do one where they were kids solving crimes and whatnot. I mean, it's kind of been done before, but they canceled that as well. And it's like all this stuff was already in like various stages of production, and they just decided to scrap it. I don't know. There's some kind of upheaval going on at WB, and so we'll see what happens. Yeah, and of course, our last bit of movie news for this week. We're here to remember some of the people that we lost. Of course, Nichelle Nichols from Star Trek. She sadly passed away at the age of 89. Lived a long life. It's very sad. What do you think about that?
I know you're big. So much because I'm a big Star Trek fan.
That's what I was gonna say. I know you're a big Star Trek fan.
Also. Yeah, I'm a big Star Trek fan. So I wish the family of Nichelle Nichols, God bless, and
Definitely.
I hope they feel better.
Definitely. And then, of course, we also had Tony Dow from Leave It to Beaver passed away as well.
Wally Cleaver? Oh
yes,
my God.
Wally Cleaver at the age of 77.
I saw his last video. It was very, very humorous, but kind of sad because we all know what's gonna happen. He was it was his birthday, no doubt, and he was gonna get takeout food with his wife, and they were concerned about COVID and whatnot, and they had to take certain precautions, and I think that his video was so heartwarming. It was beautiful. It actually almost made me cry a little bit because it was like really, really moving. And the thing about that was that Jerry Matters said Tony Dow was the best actor he worked with, and
I'm sure they were great friends.
He was friendly and funny and so optimistic.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I heard he was a lot like his TV counterparts in real life. Just a very kind person. He was also a great artist too. After Leave It to Beaver, he had a hard time breaking away from being Wally, and he was associated with that role. I mean, it's hard because even though it's not a bad thing, but just that you want to move on in your career and advance onto different things, and that kind of stuck with him forever. He was always known as Wally, and then he learned to live with it. And he ended up moving on. He ended up directing some stuff. He was in a lot of small roles here and there, and then he did some a lot of sculptures. There's a video of him online showing his artwork off, and he's an amazing artist as well.
Wow, he's a talent.
Yeah, very versatile.
Wow.
And he will be missed.
Oh, he will be missed. You will be missed, good sir. We will miss you, but
definitely
our memories of you will be around forever and ever.
For sure. And this concludes this week in movie news. Now let's get on to the show. Robocop, amazing movie. I remember watching this as a kid. I don't know if I should have been watching it, but it was one of my favorite movies. We would always rent it. I know you used to do this too. We would rent movies from the Azusa library.
Oh yeah, we used to rent movies from the Azusa library, but nowadays I just get DVDs and I have a million DVDs.
Yeah,
so
or now it's all online. If I want to rent something, I don't have to go, to the video store or or the library like we used to, and then go rent a tape, and then you have to bring it back and then play it and rewind it when it's done and take it back. That's all in the past now. You could just rent it, and then it'll automatically just revoke my access to it when I'm done watching it. Yeah, the future is now. But yeah. I remember watching it a lot.
I remember it.
Yeah, it was
I have it on DVD,
such a fun movie.
And I have it on YouTube, so
yeah.
What a surprise.
Yeah, but what do you think about Robocop?
Oh, I think it's a badass movie. You got Kurtwood Smith, you got Peter Weller. Peter
Excellent.
Weller as Alex Murphy. He does a good job. Yeah, he was in the second one. I wasn't too fond of the third one because I don't know what the fuck they were doing.
Let's not talk about the third one.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about it.
Oh man.
But Robocop 1 and 2 are awesome because they got the guy who plays the old man, Dan O'Hurley.
Oh yeah. Who's that? Who are you talking about, old man?
He's the one who played the old man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he was in Batman the Animated Series, who played Grant Walker, who played... he was the one who invented machines and whatnot, and I guess when you hear his voice, he was the guy who actually, found Victor Freeze's wife's body and put him in, put her in
interesting.
cryo freeze, and of course they found her, of course, and now she's alive, and I have no idea what's going on, but fond memories of Dan O'Hurley.
Definitely. That's an interesting fact. You're so full of knowledge.
Well, pretty much. I'm like an encyclopedia, but it's like,
Yeah.
in the mind.
Pretty good.
I'm thoroughly impressed.
Oh, yeah, you know what I mean?
So like I was saying, it was the 35th anniversary, and man, it sure does hold up. I mean, what a movie. Not only is it great, like it's a great sci-fi action 80s movie, but it has a lot of political satire, and of course Paul Verhoeven, he loves putting that kind of stuff in there. I like a lot of those little news bits in there.
He is awesome.
So for anyone who hasn't, I mean, I don't know who doesn't know what Robocop
Go
is.
see it.
Go watch this movie. It's great. So it's basically about the future, Detroit. They're trying to build this city called New Detroit, and they're trying to rid all the crime because they want the developers to come in, and they don't want there to be any problems, and they're trying to develop this program, this Robocop program, to clear the city of crime because it's just been overrun. And it's kind of like a lot, it's like kind of like modern times now. Anyway, not to get too off topic here.
Let's get too off topic.
So they're trying to come up with a solution, and that solution is robotics.
Yeah, I mean, it's synthetics, whatnot.
Yeah, and metal men with hearts that are real. Anyway,
Well,
I don't know what I'm
actually,
saying.
they're inventing a real-life Iron Man suit for the military.
Ooh, you're talking about in real life right now?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, actually, they were talking about it on a certain podcast, but I'm pretty sure that they're inventing one, or they made one, but it should be a prototype, and now they're going to make a real one, and it's going to be really, really awesome. I think it's going to be sweat-proof or...
Hopefully something like that.
Oh, right.
Back to the podcast.
Back to the podcast.
But yeah. Anyway, so they're trying to develop the solution to crime, and of course, Dick Jones, right? He comes up with the Ed 209, and it goes horribly wrong. And in one of the most amazing scenes in the movie, so they build like this giant, huge, like it's almost a monstrous beast of a robot.
Ed 209.
Yeah. And so Dick Jones, he's the head of this corporation, OCP, who actually owns the law enforcement, which is just a bad idea. And it's very dystopian, and then only bad things can come from it. Anyway, so they build the Ed 209, and then they test it in the boardroom it's a proof of concept. And of course, it goes horribly wrong. And one of the most amazing scenes in any movie. It's so gory. I love it. It's way over the top. Of course, they tested it on poor Kenny, this guy that's in the boardroom, and
Sad, very sad.
yeah.
R.I.P. to Kenny.
And so he pulls out, they tell him, here, point this gun at Ed 209, and we'll show you, its arrest features and whatnot. And of course, Ed 209, for some reason, they test a fully loaded, autonomous robot, a killing robot. I don't know why they put bullets in it, but it goes horribly wrong, and it shoots.
Very shitty wrong.
It shoots poor Kenny in a hail of bullets, and I love the blood. Those what do you call those, squibs? It's amazing. Just you see his body get torn apart. And,
Yeah, it's pretty.
it fails.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it just fails in a glorious fashion. And of course, that's what leads them to build the Robocop as we know him, as the hero in the movie.
Yep.
What's the character's name that builds Robocop? Bob Morton.
Bob Morton.
Bob Morton. So he takes advantage of this horrible failure of the Ed 209, and he pitches his idea of the Robocop. And all they need is a body, basically, to put in it. So they need to find a perfect candidate. And, of course, that's where we introduce Alex Murphy, played by...
Peter Weller.
The great Peter Weller. Of course, I don't know if you've seen it. He's also in another epic, it's a very cult hit, epic 80s movie. It's called... oh my God, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Sons of Anarchy, or is it something else?
Buckaroo Banzai. Have you ever seen that movie?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
Go check it out. We'll have to, maybe we'll do a episode on it, but it's very wacky. It has Jeff Goldblum in it and whatnot. Very cult, very much a cult hit. It wasn't successful when it came out, but
Did it make a lot of money, or is it kind of?
No, it didn't make a lot of money, but it has like a following now. Anyway, not to get too off topic here.
Not to get too off topic.
Yeah. Anyway, so they build, of course. Anyway, they get we introduced to Alex Murphy, and he's a new cop coming on the scene. He's kind of in over his head, with all the stuff going on. It just, there's a lot of crazy, like I said, crime and whatnot. And unfortunately, on the first call that he goes out on, they run into the gang with has Clarence Bodiger, played by Kurtwood Smith, and he's a cop killer. And they're chasing him down because they just robbed a bank, I believe, right?
Yeah, and very, very different way. But it's like an old-fashioned robbery. It's like like a smash and grab, I guess.
Ooh, it's kind of like nowadays. There's a lot of that going around.
Well, yeah, it's smash and grab. It's
I feel like we're living in the age of RoboCop. We need to build some RoboCops to take care of all this crime going on. Yeah. Anyway, so they got away with some money, and unfortunately, one of the people who blew the safe, they burnt the fucking money, and Clarence, I almost called him Red because he plays Red Foreman in that '70s show. But Clarence Bodiger, he's angry and he's furious, and then
burn the fucking money.
Exactly. And then they realize they're being tailed by the police, which consists of Alex Murphy.
Can you fly, Bobby?
Yeah, I love that. I love that part. And then
Get him up, Leon.
what's Lewis, played by what's her name?
Karen Allen? No.
Something. Yeah, it'll come to us.
Ellen, something like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's something like that. Anyway, so his partner, trying to blank here again.
So am I, but
Dead air.
Anyway, so they're going to chase down Clarence and his crew, and of course they meet him up at this warehouse,
abandoned warehouse.
and unfortunately they get overwhelmed by the gang, and then it doesn't end well for Alex Murphy. He gets blown to bits. And wonderful scene. It's very excruciating.
Very biblical, if I might
Kind
say.
of, yeah. The way
Because the way they portrayed him as a Jesus sort of way. Because the way
Almost.
Jesus was actually almost crucified by the Romans, and of course they made a
it's very true, actually.
replica actually.
Yeah, and almost the way that he's kind of posed, the way he has his hands out. Well, not is that the face that he made?
Kind of.
But yeah, you bring up a good point. The way that he's kind of posed, the way that he's, the way that they take him out, and then if you in a sort of way, he's kind of resurrected as this RoboCop. So it does have
So he's
kind
the
of
savior of Detroit.
yeah. Exactly. That's very interesting. I never thought about it like that.
In a way, yeah.
I
I
see
mean,
this
it's
movie
very,
in a-
very interesting and very, very educational.
Yeah, it's
Even
very-
though RoboCop is a very, very bloody movie, it has some artistic points.
You're very right. I never thought about that. That's very cool. I could look at the movie very differently. But that scene was so excruciating. You really feel for Alex Murphy in that
Oh
scene.
yeah, you got to feel for the
he's a
character.
yeah.
Even though he's really good at acting, he has you got to feel for the character. You got to
yeah.
oh shit, there's some shit going down.
Yeah.
Good guys
Yeah.
gonna get shot.
Yeah, this poor rookie cop, he goes in and, he gets ambushed. He's in over his head, and they take his gun away, and then they just kind of let loose into him. They just blow him to bits.
Oh, there you got it.
It's sad.
Nancy Allen, who plays Officer
Nancy
Lewis.
Allen. There you go.
Officer
And
Lewis.
our brains are warming up. It's
I was drawing a blank or whatever. I mean, my memory just goes,
yeah.
and I have to retract it.
It's okay. It's okay. We're getting in. We're getting into the groove here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so they blow him to bits, and then I mean the effects work on this is great, especially I love that headshot scene where they used it was all like animatronic, and they had that detailed animatronic built of Peter Weller's head, and then they did like a little switch, I think, where they really had his face in there, and then when they did a camera pan around to the back of his head, then they switched it to the animatronic, and then they blew a squib in the back of his head for that final headshot. And then of course like that scene where Clarence blows his hand off with the shotgun and he's like taunting him. I mean, it's so brutal.
It is so brutal that,
where he has the gun and he blows his hand off.
Cops don't like me, so I don't like cops.
Eric, you're a dumbass. Oh wait, that's the wrong movie. Anyway, yeah. And of course, he actually survives just barely, and so they rush him off into the hospital. And
the OC people are so corrupt.
Exactly, and well, there they have their candidate for the RoboCop, and I love those little scenes that you see of when they're rebuilding him, and
they take him to a New Year's party and they kiss him and they do whatever. I mean, what was that about?
Yeah, I know. I like that. It was added a little interesting touch to it, but I love how you see it from his point of view in his eyes. Like it keeps cutting in and out. They'll like boot him up as they're installing.
Like a computer.
Yeah. Exactly, but they're like booting him up as they're adding the robo pieces to him, and you could see from his point of view, and they'll shut it down and reboot it as they're as they keep building him and building him. But it's very interesting because you just see from his point of view the whole time. You don't know what he looks like until that big reveal later on in the police station. But yeah, it's such. I love that slow build up to it. When you finally see him walk in and all the police are freaking out, like, what is this shit? And then you see they're kind of testing his diagnostics and making sure that he knows his objectives, basically. What are they called?
Objectives?
Yeah, well, he has like there's like those 4 rules that he has, right? Well, it's a 3, and then there's like a secret 4th one.
And of course, the 4th one is not to, kill a senior president, but I mean they classified it, so
they tricked him.
They tricked him, so they pulled a kibosh on him. So
yeah, because Dick Jones is
that is one big pile of shit.
Yeah, he's very bad, man. Yeah, I mean, I love that reveal scene. All you just kind of see like quick shots of his profile as he's walking. There's people walking in front. He's kind of obscured, and then
there's so much, but actually, in the remake of RoboCop, they actually were going to get Hugh Laurie to be the boss of OCP.
Oh, really?
But actually, they got Michael Keaton to play the boss of OCP. So
yeah, that movie was a very, very big misstep.
Misstep, but actually they had the music. They actually got the soundtrack for it. So dead on soundtrack.
Yeah, but the whole remake thing was just a bad idea. It didn't need to be remade.
Jackson was funny.
I wish they got the sequel off the ground. Remember at one time they're planning on doing like a RoboCop Returns or something with Peter Weller coming back. And
I don't know what was that.
I was looking forward to that, and it never got off the ground, and I don't think it ever will. I mean,
it just it's what
sad.
It is. Stuff like that happened, but everything's gonna happen.
Yeah,
but everything turns out for the best.
That's true. I agree. But yeah, I mean, we still have the 1 and 2.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But some people don't like 2 as much, but I actually I liked it a lot.
I like both of them.
Yeah.
1 and 2.
And I love that scene after RoboCop's created. You see, you see like there's a bunch of police, testing their, at the shooting range, firing their weapons. And I see at the very end of the booths is just the huge ass gun just firing.
What is it? Is it Super Cop?
Yeah.
Look at that fucking gun.
And he just like mows that. He just mows that little shooting target in half with this gun.
That looks.
I love that thing. I remember. I don't know if you remember. We had like a squirt gun version of that.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was like silver with like green camouflage.
Oh yeah, I remember
that. I love that thing. I was going around pretending.
I wish I had one of those fake.
I know. I want to find that again. Like that. Yeah, but that was epic. But apparently, a little trivia here. Apparently, they had custom build that gun because they actually had a Desert Eagle that he was going to use.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And apparently, they tested it out, and when Peter Weller was wearing the suit. It looked too small in RoboCop's hands. So they actually repurposed that Desert Eagle, and that's the same gun you see Kenny firing in the boardroom.
Wow.
That was RoboCop's original gun. And then they had to build a bigger gun for him just so that it would look proper, it would look big enough in RoboCop's hands.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, I just found that out while researching for this podcast. So the things you learn, the information.
The things you learn are information. Art imitates life, and life imitates art.
Yeah, I love that. We need to put that on a shirt.
Exactly. We're going to make a website soon, guys, so keep on watching.
Definitely. We're not done yet, though.
Not yet, but pretty soon.
Yeah. We still got like 30 minutes to go. Anyway, I love that. And then, of course, like any good 80s movie, you got to have the montage. I mean, there was no music. I would love to, if there was like a good 80s, like a Kenny Loggins, like music montage while he was going out fighting crime. But we do have like a crime fighting montage. Like it's almost like a typical superhero movie from back then. Like
in a way,
like
yeah.
You see, I know Superman had it, the original 70s Superman, where he was going around and saving the cat out of the tree. And then he was stopping the bank robber climbing up the building with the suction cups. Although this one was less cartoony, it was more gritty. Of course, RoboCop goes in and stops a convenience store robbery, and he throws him into the.
That's a hero.
Yeah, he throws him into the case, the refrigerator cases or whatever they're called, and then the guy's shooting at him. With the gun. I remember watching. I would watch the TV version, and then I remember while shooting him, the guy they edited it because in the original version he was saying "fuck me," and he was shooting at him, and then watching the TV version, he was saying they made him say "why me," which I thought made more sense. Like why me? I don't know.
I have no idea why they did that TV
Getting
version,
off topic
but
here.
I like it when they do cuss words in movies. It
Yeah.
makes it fun.
Yeah, if you say yeah, it does. As long as it serves the story, I guess.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
And of course, there's that one scene where that lady's getting raped, or she's not. They're not raping her at the moment, but they're trying to rape her. And then he goes in and saves the day. He uses his laser targeting sight, and he shoots through the lady's skirt into the guy's dick, and he's like bleeding. And or there's that scene.
Crepe.
Yeah, exactly. Or there's that scene where he goes. There's that guy. He's holding like the mayor hostage or something like that. I think it's the mayor, and he's trying to. And he's talking with the negotiators, and RoboCop just goes up there, and he uses his heat vision. I love that scene. He sees him through the wall, and he's freaking he punches through the wall, grabs the guy.
I'm a desperate guy.
And he like throws him out the window.
I want some fresh coffee.
Yeah.
I want a car that really gets really shitty gas mileage.
How about the 6000 SUX?
That's all right.
Which is like a running gag because remember they have that commercial you see later while watching the news. I love the little commercials that they sprinkle throughout the movie too.
Oh yeah, are they
the 6000 SUX?
Is that a real car or is that fictional?
It's fictional, and the little stop motion dinosaur. That'd be Phil Tippett, right?
Oh yeah, that's him.
Of course, for those not in the know, the very famous
he is legendary
legendary stop motion animator Phil Tippett
behind RoboCop.
Yeah, he did the Ed 209 effects, and of course later in the RoboCop 2, he did Kane, the giant robot man, and then I'm assuming he did the dinosaur for the commercial. Wonderful guy, part of ILM. There's actually I'm going to get a little off topic here, but kind of, sort of, not kind of, but
right.
Yeah. There's a wonderful documentary about ILM on Disney Plus. You got to check it out. I can't remember the name right now, but it should be one of their new documentaries that they just put out. Wonderful documentary. It's amazing seeing what these guys did with a very, building a company from ground up with a very limited technology that they had. The great vision of George Lucas to, want to put this company together just to make Star Wars essentially, and it grew into this massive, special effects company. What do you think about that?
Oh, it looks pretty awesome.
you should definitely watch it. It's very it's insane.
The movie or
the amount of talent? Yeah, it's a documentary on Disney Plus. The amount of talent that these people had and the camaraderie, and of course,
what's it called? Robodoc, or is it?
No, that's this isn't a RoboCop documentary. Although I've heard about that RoboCop documentary, I want to see it.
They were gonna make another one, but
yeah.
but since COVID came,
yeah, did they cancel it or something?
yeah, they must have canceled it. But
Stupid
due to COVID. I mean, it is what it is. But hey, if COVID's gonna end, then it's gonna end soon.
Yeah.
So guys, don't worry.
I mean, I'm not counting on it ending soon.
Wear
I mean,
face masks.
It's lingering. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wore a face mask and I still got it. But anyway,
safety is more important. Everyone.
But luckily I didn't get bad. Anyway, not to get too off topic here. But yeah, so watch that documentary. It's great. I bring it up because Phil Tippett was part of that original ILM team. Of course, he did a lot of the stop motion stuff in Star Wars. He did the chess, the hollow chess board with those creatures on it, and then eventually they did in The Empire Strikes Back. And he was the one who animated and with his team and whatnot. He animated the AT-AT walkers and all that kind of stuff. He's a wonderful guy. Anyway, what do you think about what do you think about the effects in this movie?
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so a lot of them hold up. Some of them are a little weird, but
it's all good.
I mean, that's just they did what they could with the
I
the
buy
technology.
that for $1.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I love that.
What's that guy's name? He looks like W.C. Fields, the guy with the mustache.
I don't know.
He kind of looks like him.
I don't know. There's some story behind that. I think that they're referencing some TV show that I don't know from what or I don't know.
What was that guy's name?
I don't know, but apparently there was some TV show that they're referencing. I don't know if it was from another country or from here, but apparently there was a guy that said, "I'd buy that for $0.25," and then they kind of they borrowed that for this movie.
I'll buy that for $1.
I love that guy. He's hilarious. He's having the time of his life.
Oh well, he passed away. So
they did
rest
probably,
in peace, good sir.
Yeah, whoever you are, I'm sure you're some. I'm not sure. Was he like a character actor or something?
He must have been, because it was based off a TV series or a TV show, but he is legendary. But anyway, I just like the movie all in all. I give it 2 thumbs up, especially for the Robocop 2, which had that guy's name, the guy with the long hair, or
I forget exactly what his name is, but yeah, RoboCop 2 is pretty interesting. But we'll get into that later.
Yep.
Anyway, so what point were we at in the movie? We're talking about the special effects and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the special effects are badass.
Yeah, I do. I love the suit, man. The suit is it's so iconic. I heard that it was like a bitch to wear. Like it's so heavy.
It was so hot.
It was so cumbersome.
And
it was hot. He would lose like a whole bunch of just sweating.
Well, actually, a fun trivia for you. Michael Arn said it was actually going to play RoboCop, but unfortunately he was too big for it, so they had to find another guy with another size for the costume. And luckily they found Peter Weller.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean he did great. I mean he's the kind of guy who immerses himself in the role. I heard he was a bit of a pill. I believe there's a great aside from RoboDoc, there's that documentary series on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us. I believe they did an episode on RoboCop as well. But I didn't realize how much of a pain Peter Weller was on set. But he's one of those guys that makes you refer to him. He makes you refer to him as his character on set.
He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great actor, but I heard he was a little bit difficult to work with.
What would happen? Was he mad all the time?
I mean, he was very particular, and like I said, he would only answer to if he would only answer to the name Murphy or Robo, and then he's like one of those guys, almost like a Jared Leto type guy or something, or like what do you call it? Who's that other guy that's famous for method acting? The one who played Lincoln.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah.
He's a badass in Lincoln.
Yeah.
He does that character good. And I remember Sally Fields fought for a certain character that was so awesome, and it was really, really awesome. Fantastic. It should have won an Academy Award.
Yes, definitely. Not to get too off topic, though.
Not to get too off topic.
Back to the costume, designed by the great Rob Bottin. It was just a beautiful design. I love that suit so much. They actually, it was kind of a bit of a pain for him. They actually hired like this guy to teach him like mime work to do like the movements of Robocop. You know, he has like that really robotic movement. He kind of like that. I think you're doing more of the robot, you know. But
in a way, it was like,
yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
But so he developed these movements with this like professional mime, and to get the movements of Robocop down. And then by the time he got the suit on, all of that went to shit because the suit was so bulky he couldn't do those movements that he rehearsed. But so it took him like weeks or months or something to re-perfect those movements because he had to do it now with the suit once it was completed, and it was just like this big hassle. And then like I said, it was just so hot. He would just lose so much water weight because he was just sweating constantly. But I think eventually they worked out some kind of like ventilation system or something. I don't know. But man, it must be tough to work in something like that. I mean,
yep.
I mean, I've been to comic book conventions wearing like a heavy cosplay and stuff like that.
I remember one time your friend Peter actually wore a Silver Surfer costume.
Oh yeah.
I remember he was wearing it and it covered his face, and I remember he was sweating. I remember someone's like, someone needs to get him some water.
Yeah, it was hard to drink in that thing. Or remember that Chewbacca costume I had?
I remember that costume.
That was so hot.
You had a puddle of sweat, if I recall.
Yeah, so I can only imagine how warm that it got inside that Robocop suit.
Didn't you sell it?
What, the Chewbacca costume?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sold it. But I sold it to buy parts for a Joker costume. But that's getting a little off topic.
But that's okay, you guys. We're just discussing Robocop and other stuff, so don't worry.
Yeah, that was great. I'm going to pull up a little bit of fun facts for you if you want me to go over some stuff right here.
Yep.
Apparently, Kurtwood Smith actually auditioned for the role of Dick Jones. Did you know that?
No, I did not. That's awesome.
But Paul Verhoeven saw Kurtwood Smith and wearing the glasses, and he thought he looked like Heinrich Himmler, the Nazi, and so he actually cast him as the villain in the movie. It was,
it makes sense. Kurtwood Smith is a great method actor, and of course, he was in RoboCop 1. He was in another movie, and he's famous for that '70s show.
Oh yeah. But he played a great villain. Like, he was very convincing. And I think the glasses helped. I mean, that's one reason why they went with the glasses look, because they thought it made him look smarter and more menacing. Like, he wasn't such like a physical opposition for RoboCop, but he's more of like the brains over the brawn type of thing. Almost like a Lex Luthor to a Superman type of
In a
deal.
way, yeah.
Kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Apparently so the prime directives. That's the term that I was looking for.
The prime directives.
So RoboCop's prime directives are serve the public trust, protect the innocent, and uphold the law. So apparently, his first directive, serve the public trust. It was inspired by a fortune cookie. That's very interesting, huh?
I had no idea, but mysteries happen.
I don't typically take advice from fortune cookies, but apparently the cop of the future, RoboCop, he lives and dies by the fortune cookie. Apparently, another problem with the RoboCop suit was that it was too reflective,
too shiny, too aluminum.
Yeah, much when you light an actor normally, like it was causing a lot of issues. So. There was a lot of unusable shots initially, and eventually they actually had to light it as if it was like a car. So that's kind of interesting. That's
awesome.
About that. Yeah. And then And most of the shots where RoboCop is driving in the police car, he wasn't wearing the bottom half of his suit. Apparently, it was he was too big in the full costume to drive around in it. So they actually had to dress him only partially, almost like Iron Man, like Robert Downey Jr. How he only wore like half the suit, and they just like CGI'd it later. That's probably how they would do it nowadays.
Yeah, I mean,
They would just do like all full CGI. I mean, we've seen that awful remake, but that's neither here nor there. And then apparently it was like hard to get this movie off the ground. I remember hearing that they actually the person who came up with the concept for RoboCop, it wasn't the director. I can't remember his name, but they actually supposedly, I don't know if I got my facts straight here, but they pitched the concept of RoboCop to Stan Lee himself, Stan the Man.
Wow, Stan the Man Lee.
Yeah, they wanted it to be like a superhero, like the next Iron Man or something.
Well, Stan Lee is a fan of, Marvel. He likes Batman. He likes pretty much everything.
Yeah.
He had a cameo on The Big Bang Theory in which he wore a robe that was, Fantastic Four. So there you go.
Yeah, and apparently he passed on it because he had just seen I think the Terminator, the Schwarzenegger, and he was like, hey, there's no way you're gonna top that, so I'm gonna pass on it, something like that. I don't know if it's true, but I heard on the internet, so take that with a grain of salt.
Yes.
But yeah, interesting stuff. But I'm glad they did get it off the ground. A wonderful movie. And of course, continuing on with the story,
yep.
Later on we learn of the devious plans, of Dick Jones and everything like that. And I love that scene where RoboCop breaks into that the facility, that drug making facility.
Oh yeah.
And he goes and he apprehends Clarence Bodiger. That was freaking amazing. I love that shootout. Apparently,
or there will be trouble.
I love that scene where like he pounds on the door. I wonder if they borrowed that for Iron Man. You know how when Iron Man escapes from the cave, and he's like
must have,
and he's like pounding on that door, and until it breaks open.
That is interesting.
That's like I don't know if it's a fact or anything, but I mean there's like the similar shot in RoboCop.
It's pretty interesting.
Where like he's breaking into the facility and you see the big metal doors and you just see it pounding from behind, and all of a sudden he breaks open and he starts opening fire on all the drug dealers and stuff.
Oh yeah, and
and then there's that scene where like he uses his targeting system to like take out the bad guys without killing the innocent people.
Yeah,
and it's exactly what Iron Man does. They had to have borrowed from that.
Wasn't there a part when that cell guy, what his name was, they put a blood pack on him so that way they wouldn't know stuff like that. But I remember that.
That's what I love about 80s movies. They're like the squibs and blood packs. Nowadays it's mostly digital. But I love like those physical, like, it's so like visceral and real. Like you could just feel the blood splatter and stuff like that. But they don't do so much more nowadays.
Well, actually, I did hear an interview about when Kurt Woodsmith was doing that scene with RoboCop, and when he fell through the glass and then landed on the mat, of course. They thought it was real blood or fake blood, and of course, Paul Verhoeven checked and said, like, it was a bit of both, fake, real. I mean, it depends. I mean, it just, I just wish they would include Kurt Woodsmith in the remake of RoboCop. I wish they would.
Yeah.
Because he is legendary and he's a badass.
Well, we're going to see him again soon in the That 90s Show I think it's on Netflix, right? They're doing a reboot of That 70s Show, but we're catching up with the Foremans in the 90s.
Isn't that with Glenn Howardson?
No, that was That 80s Show, which was an awful show, but he's a great comedian.
Oh, that's right.
It's Always Sunny, Yeah.
I remember that. That was
bad. It was a bad.
awful.
It was just badly conceived. It lacked everything that made That 70s Show great. But hopefully That 90s Show will be that much better. Yeah, we'll see what that entails. But I'm looking forward to catching up with them. But not to get too off topic.
Not to get off topic.
Back to the scene where Robocop takes out those drug dealers and catches Clarence.
It's fantastic.
Apparently, that whole scene, he actually, Peter Weller had a Walkman on underneath his Robocop suit. And he said that was one of his favorite memories of his career was filming that scene. The whole time he was listening to a song by Peter Gabriel called Red Rain. And while he was going around blasting drug dealers. Imagine that. That must have been a very interesting moment for him.
Very, very different perspective.
I can't think of that song off the top of my head. I got to go listen to it and imagine being a robo man shooting a bunch of drug dealers. That's got to be very trippy.
Well, I had never heard about that, but hey, the interviews are interviews, but hey, we need more celebrities on our podcasts to actually watch the stuff because, we're a fan of them. We're a fan of Mark Hamill, and we are a fan of Kurtwood Smith.
Yeah.
Keep on watching, guys.
I'm just going to say I don't think Kurtwood Smith is going to listen to our podcast, but who knows? Who knows?
Maybe Mark Hamill, because Mark Hamill is a badass.
I think he's got better things to do with his time, but that's okay. We'll forgive him. He's a busy man.
He's a cool man.
He's doing those Jack in the Box commercials now.
Oh, he is funny. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, so he captures Clarence and he takes him into this police station. I love that scene that you were talking about where he spits the blood out.
Yeah.
Just give me my fucking phone call.
That was so disgusting, but perfect.
Uh-huh.
The way they did it was I thought he was going to, spit some saliva on the paper, but it turns out he spit his own blood. So, there you go.
And then, was it before this or after that? That Clarence goes and kills what's his name?
Officer
Bob Morton.
Oh, yeah, that was after.
That was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene. That scene is wild.
They didn't know that Dick Jones was a part of with working with Clarence Bodiger. So
yeah, but yeah, I love that scene. He comes in and he blows off his kneecaps and stuff. He's there doing coke with those ladies. Typical 80s.
Pretty legendary, but pretty iconic.
80s businessman snorting coke. And,
those were the 80s.
Yeah,
those
and then
were the days.
I love that scene. There's so much tension in it. I love when he leaves that.
Those were the days.
You sound like you yearn for those days. Anyway, but I love that scene. There's so much tension in it. I love he comes in and he shoots his kneecaps off and whatnot. Bitches leave, and then at least he had the courtesy to let the women leave before he blew them up and whatnot.
Wasn't that Paul Verhoeven's idea?
I mean, probably.
Well, I think the lines was doesn't Paul Verhoeven have an Australian accent or a?
I don't know. I think he's Austrian, right, or something like that. That's
so
something
he's
I forget.
But that was a perfect line for Kurtwood Smith to say because even as a good method actor, he knows how to deliver his lines like that.
Oh yeah, I love that scene where he blows him up because he can't really walk. He got his kneecaps blown off, and then he leaves that little time a grenade with that little LCD display that shows it ticking down, and he's trying desperately to grab it off the thing, and then it kind of falls over last minute and blows up and kills him and whatnot. So brutal.
Yep.
I killed Bob Morton because he made a mistake. Now it's time to erase that mistake. I love that scene too. When he's going to arrest Dick Jones, and then he has the recording. Remember, he ended up recording it, and he uses it later when he basically admits to killing Bob. And then, of course, he stopped by his secret fourth prime directive, which remember he said it was that he couldn't kill
the senior president?
OCP. Yeah, you can kill a senior member of OCP or something like that. And then I love that reaction that he has when he's trying to walk over to him and he's trying to arrest Dick Jones, and then he stops. He's freezing up and very, very, very good. I love that. But of course, later on, he ends up getting him.
Yep, and it turns out that Dick Jones' death turned out to be a puppet.
Yeah, we'll get into that. That was very
yeah, well,
awkward.
it turned
That's
out
one of
you
the
love it.
effects that don't hold up very well.
Well, yeah, but it turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, but
Despite all that, it's pretty badass.
yeah. And when of course, one of my favorite scenes is later on. Remember after Clarence Bodiger and the gang gets back together, and then there's a showdown between them and RoboCop, and of course there's the
Looking for me.
yeah, there's that amazingly gross scene where that one guy with like the red hair
Don't
and the
touch
goatee.
me.
He gets he's driving that truck and he slams it into that toxic waste.
The guy looks like a troll.
That was that was amazing. That was like something out of a
nasty.
horror movie,
Well, it
like
looks
body
like a
horror.
horror
you know.
movie / good movie, but we're not here to get too off topic.
the melty man effect was excellent, and especially when he gets hit by the when Clarence is driving and he accidentally runs him over and he splatters on his windshield. That's amazing. Just love those gory moments. Wonderful, and of course, the final showdown with Clarence was amazing. Who's the actor's name? I remember he was in been in a lot of stuff. The way I know he passed away a couple years ago.
Miguel Ferrer?
Him, yeah, he did pass away as well too. Of course, he's was he George Clooney's like half brother or something like that.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, I was talking about the other guy. He plays one of Clarence's crew members. I think he's been in a lot of stuff. I know he was in that show Reaper. He played the devil in Reaper.
Ray Weiss?
Ray Wise, yeah.
He passed away?
Yeah, didn't he pass away? Or am I just imagining that?
I don't know. I mean, like, I think he's still alive, but I remember one time I tried to get an autograph from him, and then someone else, just already got an autograph from him. So I'm like,
They scooped you on the autograph?
I'm like, whatever. I mean, I don't care about autographs. I mean, I just care that I see a celebrity on a podcast, just like ours.
That's true. But yeah, of course there was like that last showdown with Clarence, and then what is that? What was going on? Anyway, so there's that last showdown with Clarence, and then Ray Wise's character. I forget his name. Leon. There you go. Yeah, and then remember he's in that. He's operating the crane, and he drops like all that rubble and stuff onto RoboCop, and he gets impaled with that stick.
Spike.
Clarence impales him with a stick, and I love the whole scene. And then finally,
sayonara, RoboCop.
and then RoboCop gets the drop on him. He has that little data spike in his hand. I love that thing. It's so weird. I don't know why they chose that way, but it comes in handy in the end because early on when he's trying to figure out who Clarence Bodiger is and his whole crew, he uses the data spike to search some of the footage after he arrested that one guy at the gas station, the guy with the goatee. He searches through the data of the video that he recorded of his face, and he finds out who he is and who his crew is, and he finds out Clarence Bodiger, and then he figures out who RoboCop figures out that he's Alex Murphy because it lists Clarence Bodiger's
Murphy
affiliations and who he's killed, and it pops up Alex Murphy, and then he's having all these flashbacks and stuff. That's another interesting aspect about the movie, the whole uncovering his identity and all the turmoil in his own mind and whatnot, and dealing with the fact that he is no longer the person that he used to be. Because when they designed RoboCop, it was supposed to be they wanted to wipe
confidential stuff.
Yeah, they wanted to wipe any kind of memory of his past, but eventually
he knew.
Yeah, he's more human than they thought he'd be. And
but he's still the best, no doubt.
And I love that scene with all those flashbacks, especially like when he's walking through his old house. And he's walking around and he sees like the living room, and he has flashbacks of him with his family during Halloween and dressing up in costume, and he walks to another part of the house, the bedroom, and he sees his wife there, and he walks to another part of the house, and all the memories start flooding back. And I love that whole aspect of his character.
Oh, I thought that was really good. I thought the part where RoboCop punched the screen, and so and the guy said, I want to make you an offer.
Oh yeah,
Want
there's
an
like
offer? I want a.
yeah, there's like a video of like this
Yeah.
guy who because they're selling this house because his wife moved on because she didn't know that he was still technically alive, and so she moved on and moved out of their old house, and then he punches that little screen that's trying to. It's basically they're set up to like talk to the people who are walking through the house and viewing it to purchase it. But yeah, it's I love that. Not only is it a great 80s action flick, almost like a superhero-esque type film, but it has like that great character development, that great battle between trying to remember who he was, as a human in his previous life and whatnot. That adds the extra layer of depth that I love.
Yep.
And eventually, he remembers, and he even sees his wife at one point, and she figures out that he's still around, but that he's still struggling with his identity, and at that point, he's like, Murphy is dead and whatnot. And later on, after everything goes down, and he takes down Clarence, and then he finally he's able to erase his fourth prime directive, and
Yeah.
oh no,
so that
he
was-
didn't. He doesn't erase it. It's still there, but he goes and then he exposes Dick Jones, and he plays that tape about how he killed Bob Morton and whatnot. And then what's his face? He ends up firing Bob Morton, and then and since he no longer works for OCP, then RoboCop is able to kill him. I love that part when he
And then
breaks.
Johnson is surprised.
You're fired, and then the fourth prime directive goes away because he no longer works
Thank you.
for OCP. Yeah, I love that. And he's like, "Thank you," and he blasts him out the window. And then, of course, that famous scene that you were talking about when Dick Jones falls out of the window.
It was like a puppet thing or
It's a
whatever.
puppet, and he has I don't know. I guess they tried doing something with perspective or something. For some reason, infamously, he has like these extra long, like stretchy arms when he's falling out the window. If you take time to look at it, like he has like these really long, like I don't know, they're like 4 foot long arms. I don't know. It looks awkward. It's like he was Reed Richards or something stretching out.
Oh, in a way.
It's just so funny. It's one of those bad falling effects. There's a few of them in 80s movies. I know the Joker when Batman kills the Joker and he falls out of the helicopter. That one looks pretty bad as well. And there's a few of those that are just like they had no real good way of doing it, I guess. I don't know, but it was funny. It's funny to look at, but that scene is so epic. He shoots him, falls out of the window, and then finally he reconciles his identity. And then
He knows who he is.
what's his name? The guy,
The old man?
the old man. What's his name?
His actor name is Dan O'Hurley.
Okay, but yeah, I can't remember what his character name was.
Well, actually, his character's name is the old man.
That's his name? Is the old man?
Well, pretty much. Because
But yeah, he's
he's the
like
old man.
he's head of the whole thing, and he turns to him. He's like, "What's your name?" And he finally, normally he disassociated himself from his old identity. Yeah, and then he called. What does he say?
Murphy.
Murphy. So he's reconciled his humanness with his roboticness, and now he's back. He's back as Murphy.
Woohoo!
Yeah. And he saves the day, man. Wonderful movie. Yeah, it's something that's hard to recreate. It's like lightning in a bottle. It's one of those movies where it just comes together, and it's a product of its circumstances. Someone has an idea, and then the right director comes along and makes that idea even better, and then you have just they happen to get the right actor who escalates it to a higher level, and then the other actors in it as well, and it's. You can't really recreate that, and I think that's why the sequel or the remake failed, because I feel like it wasn't one of those things that came together just by happenstance. They tried making another. They tried recreating that lightning in a bottle. It just doesn't work that way,
Yeah, I mean, like, not in the old days. The 80s
Yeah.
movies were so perfect, fantastic, and,
Exactly.
just super, super awesome.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't do a good remake. I mean, there are some remakes that I do love, and in which, like I said, we talk about this in a previous episode. But it just you have to have the right intentions. You have to have a new vision, a new take, and I feel like when you're just doing it just to make a buck, it doesn't work out. Well, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Talking about RoboCop.
Yeah, pretty
I had a lot of
much.
fun just discussing
Yeah,
all
you
this
know,
stuff.
I saw this YouTube stuff about RoboCop, and it was pretty funny. I forget what it's called. It's called Our RoboCop or something like that, but it was super, super funny. It was like a parody of RoboCop, but it was so funny. I mean, like, you know...
Oh yeah, that's when we just watched it right before the podcast. I totally forgot to talk about that. Yeah, I think it was like 2014.
Yep.
They came out with this bunch of different comedians and actors and stuff. They and like indie filmmakers and whatnot. They had this project and they called it
Fantastic.
Our RoboCop Remake. We should go check it out. It's you can watch it on YouTube in full. But they took the whole movie of RoboCop essentially and broke it down into scenes. And then different filmmakers and comedians, they took those scenes and made it their own. And they did it in different styles. One of them, some of the scenes are done as like animated little cartoons. Some scenes are done in live action, they're done as like comedy bits, and some of them are done like really artistically. There's one scene, the Murphy's death scene is done as like this kind of artsy musical theater type thing where it's like there's no dialogue. It's just like this. It's the RoboCop theme just played in like a sullen piano, and they're doing like this. These artsy dance moves, and instead of like blood, they use like it was like red streamers and stuff. It's
in a way, you know.
Yeah, or there's like
special effects are awesome.
There's like some scenes where they're done. It's done like an indie movie where RoboCop's walking around and he's writing a letter to his parents, talking about his day, and then there's one incredibly
when he's
gross.
riding his car.
There's one incredibly gross scene, or it's that scene where RoboCop saves the lady from being raped.
Yeah.
But they take that and they do it like tenfold. Or a millionfold, and there's instead of one guy, or instead of like a couple guys, it's like a whole group of people, and then and RoboCop, and it's done really well. Its production value was insane. Like they got I mean, it looks like it was straight out of the movie. It was incredible, but it's very graphic because there's like 20 guys running at RoboCop with their and they all have their pants down, and he's like shooting their crotches off. It's insane. But man,
it's nasty.
And then there's some like
good watching.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ideas, and it's just really well put together. Some of the bits aren't as funny as the others, but
pretty good.
But and it has like Trevor Moore, R.I.P., who from The Whitest Kids You Know. He has a bit in there, and then there's some other actors as well. They do their own take on it. It's just. It's amazing. I don't know who came up with this idea, but it's...
I have no idea, but the guys who came up with it are awesome.
Yeah. And it even has... there's some like I can't remember his name, but he was in... there's that show... Oh, yeah. Eugene Cordero. He's from Tacoma FD. I don't know if you've seen that show. You can watch it on... HBO Max. It's from the Broken Lizard guys who do like Super Troopers. They do a show about firefighters, and he's one of the main actors in there. And then it also has Colton Dunn. He is from what is that? The Superstore. So yeah, there's a lot of little surprise cameos in there, but it's really well put together. I would recommend it, not
cameos.
for kids. I wouldn't highly graphic, and same thing with the actual RoboCop movie.
Yep,
not for
highly
kids.
graphic.
Even though I watched it as a kid,
at all.
I wouldn't suggest it. But hey, I came out okay. Anyway,
it's good.
Yeah, it's
a good movie, and it's well done.
Yeah,
got a director named Paul Verhoeven, and he is awesome.
So I know you already said what you thought about this movie. So, but I'm gonna get official kind of review. So, what would you give it? What would you rate out of 5? What would you rate RoboCop?
10 stars.
10 out of 5. You know what? Yeah. I would agree with you. You go 5 more than. I was gonna say, just to be fair, I don't really like to give 100% to all movies. I was gonna say 4.5 out of 5. Just to be, I don't like giving anything 100% because there's always some kind of flaw, and
I kind of give movies,
but
100%.
I can see your enthusiasm. I
I give movies some 100% if they do well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I believe our consensus between the both of us is that
I like
Yeah.
Yep. You heard it, folks.
Yeah. Well, I believe this is it for
Yep.
this episode of The Men Who Watch Movies.
Yep. And of course, check out our podcast at
Yeah.
The Men Who Watch Movies.
Yeah.
We have a Twinkie video. Be sure to watch that Men Who Watch Movies.
Yeah, we have an episode where we talked about the Weird Al movie UHF. We tried the Twinkie Wiener Sandwich. You can check that out.
And it was good.
Yeah, it was very good actually. And of course, we watch all our videos on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And of course,
Don't forget to watch us.
You can watch us on Anchor. We're now a video podcast, so you can check us out, like I said, either on YouTube or you can watch the video on, say, like Spotify or whatever, wherever you can watch video podcasts. Yeah, it has been our pleasure. My name is Alec.
And my name's DJ the Movie Man Wagner.
And we all want to remind you to
keep on watching. Have a good day, folks.
I'll buy that for $1.
Take care, guys. And have a good day and stay hydrated.
Good night and good luck.